So we are headed for disaster, and it's all because of ideology. I've made this point several times in the past that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is driving his Green Deal agenda, his climate change crisis, in the name of ideology. He wants to produce terror, and he wants to force Canadians to do what he wants them to do in the name of environmental ideology. The carbon tax that did nothing to stop forest fires, even though supposedly these forest fires were a direct result of climate change. All of the carbon taxes did nothing to stop these forest fires. All they have done is impoverish Canadians and further enrich the federal government. And don't buy the argument that you're getting it all back. You're not getting it all back. Let's watch this.
Here in Prince Edward Island for my Axe the Tax tour. And boy, is that tour ever timely. Look at Trudeau's tax right there, 185.8. Gas prices have skyrocketed across Atlantic Canada since Trudeau's tax took effect at the beginning of last month. And now the devastating consequences are hitting grocery stores. Just this week, we saw the inflation numbers out, and food inflation was worse in Prince Edward Island than anywhere else. The Atlantic provinces were among the worst anywhere in Canada. That corresponds with the coming into force of the carbon tax. Higher taxes on the farmers who make the food and the truckers who ship the food means higher taxes on all who buy the food. The Trudeau
makes sense, doesn't it? When people have to ship goods using gas-powered vehicles, it's going to cost more money to do so. So the more money Trudeau adds on to the carbon tax, the higher the price of groceries or any consumable good that has to be shipped. And don't for a minute think this is going to be cheaper to do with electric vehicles, because it's not. And it's not, by the way, any better for the environment, because where do you think the energy for electricity comes from? And I've made this point several times. It's not a magic source, not some magic green source. So this is all a mirage, just so Trudeau can stomp on your rights in the name of ideology. And I think Poilievre is making a very good point here.
Tax is a food tax. And that's why I announced today to all Prince Edward Islanders and Atlantic Canadians that a Pierre Poilievre-led common sense conservative government will axe the tax to bring home lower prices for everyone.
Hello, Mr. Poilievre. A number of your own comments and
yeah, and watch how insightful the comments and questions are from these reporters, who are nothing more than propagandists for the Trudeau government.
Actions have been characterized as dog whistling to
By
the
who?
far right.
By who?
By a number of
By
different.
who?
But I think it's been
By
characterized
who?
by that way. But
By
are
who?
you trying to
Sorry,
court? Are
I
you
just
trying
need
to
I
court
need to
the far
clarify.
right
Sorry,
vote?
I just need to clarify. By who?
By a number of different experts and a number of
who are
different
the
people
experts?
who work
Who are the
work in
experts?
this. Okay, well, I think
All
it's
right.
been established that
Right.
this is a concern.
it's
Are you
not-
trying to court the far right vote?
Who are these experts? You say that there are experts who are saying this. Who are they?
My question is, are you trying to court the
Sorry,
far right vote?
I'm sorry. Your question seems to be based on a false premise. You can't even tell me who these experts are. It sounds like it's just a CBC smear job. Thank you.
But
Next
what
question.
about the question about whether that's
The answer is that
intention?
I have a common sense agenda to axe the carbon tax, bring home powerful paychecks, clear the way to build affordable homes to put people in housing that they can afford. That is a common sense, mainstream Canadian agenda. And I know that Justin Trudeau's supporters are so desperate to distract from that because his political career is falling apart. So we're seeing an attempt here to distract and protect Justin Trudeau from his extremely unpopular carbon taxes and other failing policies. But we won't let him or his or others distract from that reality. So thank you.
So you're not going to
Next
answer that
question.
question?
She doesn't work for CBC, but I do. Carrie Campbell. Thank you.
Excellent. I loved it. I love it because this illustrates how idiotic so much of the media can be. This is a news conference about the carbon tax, and this reporter decides to be a propagandist for the Trudeau government and to talk about dog whistles, whatever the hell that means, really. I mean, it's just a stupid talking point that most idiots on the left like to talk about. It means absolutely nothing. And what kind of an idiot would want to court the vote of the far right? There's nobody on the far right to court. There's nobody there to court. Pierre Poilievre has already denounced people that he considers to be on the far right, and some of them aren't even on the far right. So what is this reporter talking about? Why would Pierre Poilievre be courting the far right? And what relevance does that question have to this news conference, except that the Liberal Party is propagating that lie, that message, that somehow Poilievre is infatuated with the far right? This is all such crap. It's all such rubbish and nonsense. And this reporter knows that. How she can even call herself a journalist in good conscience, I have no idea, because she's actively working for the Liberal Party by asking this question. No, Pierre Poilievre's not courting the far right. And are they talking about his opposition to the World Economic Forum? Is that far right to oppose the World Economic Forum that wants to take away your freedom? Listen to Klaus Schwab, the director of this damned organization. Listen to him for 20 minutes. And he hangs himself with his words. He talks about incredibly crazy notions of putting computer chips in people's brains so their thoughts can be read before even they know them. He's the one that talks about the Great Reset and exploiting crises to advance his agenda. They are the ones talking this way.
We penetrate the cabinet.
It's the WEF that talks this way. These aren't crazy people in the back rooms talking about ridiculous conspiracies. These ideas, these dangerous ideas, are out in the open and are being propagated by the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab and people like Justin Trudeau, who is a client of the WEF and has attended the meetings, has been congratulated by Klaus Schwab as one of his people out there, one of his people in government, doing what needs to be done to advance the agenda of the WEF. What we're trying to do every week here is bring you the news you might not see everywhere else. And we're coming against Justin Trudeau's internet censorship laws. Please subscribe, ring that bell if you haven't done so already. I know it's annoying to ask. Believe me, I'm not a salesman. I'm a writer. But I really implore you to do that because I need this station to keep going. We want to keep bringing you the news that you want to hear. And if you want a story covered, let me know, please. Because that's where I'm getting a lot of news information from your tips. So thank you for being there for me. And you can also support this station by going on my Substacks and subscribing for $8 a month. Yes, I know it's free, but I can also use your support. So please do that if you can. And I'll continue to be here every week, every day if must needs be, to tell you what's really happening in this world of ours. And I'm in nobody's pocket, but I am on your side.